joining me and welcome to my channel. My name is Shanae Cartwright and I am the success strategist. Today I want to talk to you about 20 things about me. So let's jump right into it. Number one, where am I from? I was actually born in Germany. Yes, I'm a military brat. However, my family somehow migrated to this place on the East Coast, which is Virginia, and I've been here most of my life. Number two, do I have siblings? Yes, I do. I have two siblings. Yes, I do. I am one of three children and I am the only girl, and I'm actually in the middle. So I have an older brother, I'm in the middle, and then my younger brother. Number three, how long have I been in ministry? I actually started in ministry officially in 2012. However, I've known since I was about, I would say 15 years old, that I was supposed to be doing something involved with ministry and reaching out to people to give them the word of God. So I knew at the early age of about 15, probably even earlier than that. I never forget the time where I was at home with my mother and something came over me. I told my mother that we needed to call the church phone book, and I proceeded to call all the local churches in the area, and I told them that we had to pray. And something so bold for a teenager at that time, I don't know what came over me. It had to have been God, but I proceeded to call.
Hey, you've been watching for quite a while now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for part 2 of 20 Things About Me.
Something within me said, you need to call the churches and tell them to pray. And I began to pray with different churches. And I never forget, there was one church, the man said, okay, you pray. So I called and he was saying, so when I was on the phone with him, I began to pray. And I don't know how many churches I did that with, but I've known, the short answer is I've known for a while that I was called to ministry, the gospel, to further the gospel of Jesus Christ, whether that was in a pulpit, outside of the church, street ministry, evangelism. I've always known that there was some type of connection with me and the church, and God speaking to me to change the community and ultimately change the world. Number 4, when did you know you were called to chaplaincy? So for those of you who've been watching me, you know that I am in chaplaincy alongside with me doing my business, as well as what I do within the community. I've been involved in chaplaincy since about 2014, so a little while now. And when I first thought about chaplaincy, it wasn't anything that I was interested in doing. At the time, I had a friend. I was working at a prestigious university, which will remain nameless. Was working at this university, and I was always complaining. I was tired of it, fed up, very stressful environment. I feel like the supervisor at the time, she had it out for me. I'll leave that right there. And also part of it was my attitude and character. I had a lot of growing to do at that time. This was maybe my second real job out of college, but I was miserable. I was driving from that city to all the way up, further up north to Richmond, which is the capital of the state that I'm in. It was about an hour and 30 minute, maybe about an hour drive, hour and 15 minute drive. And I did this I think twice a week. Twice a week I was driving up to Richmond for classes. So I was in seminary at this time. And I knew that I needed to be out of this position. I was stressed out, tired. I was not applying myself. I could go on and on and on, but pretty much I had a friend that told me, look into chaplaincy. You know, you're in ministry, you're in seminary. What a great way to continue to evolve in your calling. And you may not want to do it long term, but it's a job and it's a step in ministry for full time. So I took that opportunity, I did it, and here I am. I've been there ever since. Next question is, hold on. Next question is, are you married? Yes, I am married. I've been married for about a year and 4 months now. So yes, I'm married. How much money do I make? This is number 6. How much money do I make? So I'll give you a range because I can't tell you all my business. So the low end of chaplaincy, if you're a chaplain who is probably on call, what we consider per request as needed, or PRN. Some of our medical people may know what I'm talking about with that terminology. So you're called in to answer a call or crisis, or if family or someone needs you in the medical field, you're called to address a situation. You may get paid $20 per hour that you're on call, plus travel. So if it's just a few hours, it's not a lot of money. So that's the low end, the PRN. Then you have part-time, of course. Then you have full-time. Chaplaincy is rated by experience, of course, as many jobs are. So it can be anywhere from the PRN, like I stated, to the low end, maybe the low 30s, all the way up to 70 or 80 if you are working within the VA system, so the veteran system. So I'm not at the high end, I'm not at the low end, and I'll leave it right there. I don't want to get too much involved in that, but just it gives you an idea of how much I'm making. That gives you an idea, a range of where I fall in between there. It gives you an idea. Number 7, what's the hardest thing about ministry? This is a great question. Ministry in itself is not hard. What can be hard about ministry sometimes is the people that you deal with in ministry. Everyone has different personalities. It's similar to working at a job where you're going to encounter people. You cannot change those people. Your job is not to change them. Your job is to be with them right where they are and to minister to them in their needs where they are, regardless of if they don't like you, if they accept you, if they're going to receive what God has given you to give them or impart into their life. So that can be a part of it that's very hard. Another part of it I would say is that both my husband and I are in ministry. My husband is a full-time pastor. I myself full-time in ministry, as well as my business, as well as chaplaincy. So it can be very difficult with traveling. We both have to travel quite a distance for ministry. Great question. Number 8. Oh, this is easy. What's your favorite color? My absolute favorite color is green. I love the color green. It's just something so calming and soothing about it. It's just that beautiful, deep hunter green, that earth tone. Oh, it's beautiful. I actually like all shades of green. It's just something about green that just makes me melt. It's just beautiful. Number 9, what's the most difficult experience you've had in chaplaincy? Oh my goodness. Well, I had to take a breath for this one. The hardest part of chaplaincy, as you all know, chaplaincy does involve me experiencing and dealing with death. Day in and day out, it is a reality for me to approach death, dying and death, the process of dying and death. One of my first jobs in chaplaincy was working at a children's hospital. And there's actually a children's hospital in the state of Virginia called King's Daughters Children's Hospital. I worked within the ER department, and one time there was this case, and it had to have been God that placed me in that situation when God placed me there. I mean, I'm sure whatever God brings you to, he's going to give you the strength and the tools to do whatever needs to be done. But I felt like, unfortunately, what happened, I needed to see it. For me, it was when this young girl, she couldn't have been more than 3 months old. I want to say between 5 months. She was 5 months old, a baby. Her parents and her family rushed her into the hospital. It was a late evening. The baby was unresponsive. And, hold on. Baby was unresponsive. And the only thing I could do was be with the family. I'm praying. And of course, The medical team is doing everything that they can. Someone is trying to do CPR. By this time, she's blue. And she didn't make it. She didn't make it. That was one of the times that I questioned God. That was one of the times that I questioned God's power and the realness of God. I'm being transparent here, because at that point in my career, I had been walking with God for a long time. I had seen God do some incredible things in my life and the lives of others. But that was the hardest pill for me to swallow, is seeing that child not be resuscitated and hearing her grandmother scream and wail the way she did in that emergency room. It was unforgettable. And I questioned God, and I asked God over and over, why could you not spare this child? Why could you not save this child's life? And I still haven't received an answer. But even in that, I've learned to trust God. I don't believe it was God's will for that child to die the way that she did. And again, I don't have the answer as to why God did not save her. But I do believe that even with that there's a plan. No one wants to see an innocent child whose life has yet to begin die in such a way. So the only thing that I could do is be with that family and pray with them. So that was the hardest thing that I've had to experience. All right, next question. Okay, so this is on a lighter note. Last question. What do you do for fun? Well, me personally, I love to travel. Of course, sometimes business and my job doesn't allow me to travel like I would like to, but I enjoy traveling, and I love my husband because he's very spontaneous, and there are times when he's like, let's go, and he just wants to pick up and go. Can't always do that, but I love his spontaneity and how he's definitely open to going different places and experiencing new things. I enjoy traveling, and I enjoy cooking as well. It's something about cooking and developing new recipes or trying out new foods or cuisines that just brings me a lot of joy and excitement. And as far as traveling, I enjoy traveling for that purpose as well, because you learn cultures through their food, not only through language, but through their food. So I've been able to go to places such as, and I wrote some of them down, been able to travel to places like Jamaica, Mexico, Belize, the Bahamas, and I'm sure plenty other places that I can't think of right now. But the cultures are just so beautiful when you go and you see the people and what life is like for them, how some of them are next to beautiful crystal clear waters. The weather for us, we experience the 4 seasons. You go somewhere like the Bahamas and they're low, maybe 65 or 70 degrees. Beautiful weather, beautiful people, wonderful cultures, and traveling throughout their neighborhoods and towns. Now, I've seen some places that are very, very impoverished, and so that can be very sad, because it's not like what we think it's going to be. The pictures or what the depiction we receive from TV or offline is just this beautiful picture perfect paradise. Oftentimes the only money that these islands and different exotic places, or places that we consider exotic, the only way they get their money or income is through tourists or people traveling in. Therefore, they really depend on foreigners coming in and out to boost their economy. But I enjoy traveling. I really do. I enjoy traveling. Well, that's all about me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for staying tuned in. If you have any other questions, please feel free to include them in the comments below. I look forward to joining you another time. And always remember, as I always say, a mind change equals a life change. Till I see you next time. Bye.